Hello guys, welcome back to another framework component video. So today I'm going with one component that I think I needed to use for one of the projects that I couldn't find. I did search it on Framer Marketplace also. So the component is a searchable drop down, right? So searchable drop down is like when you have many options and you want to choose one or many. So like that searchable drop down could be uh, multi-select also, right? So today we are going to create that, and to okay, so let me just open a cursor and let's create a new file now, and let's name it searchable drop down .tsx, right? So we have this now. So today what I have done is I have added whisper flow for speech to text dictation. So now I'll be utilizing the speech to text functionality or feature that whisper flow gives us, and to, let's say, work up the flow, right? So just to make sure that the flow is a little bit you can say faster, right? So we can build faster and iterate faster, right? So let's get started on this one. So understand Framer component requirements and guideline from framer.com, because I need to create a new Framer component. The component is going to be a searchable drop down that needs to be created using best practices of Framer, and it should have like functionality and properties to add multiple options for the drop down. So make sure that we do have that functionality. So this is to get started with, right? So let's make sure that let's fire this up and let's see what it does, right? So let me confirm on this one, so that it's searching for web, so that we do have some context, right? So the cursor has context about what we are going to need to build and what we need, what all things we need to build that, right? So waiting for approval. I don't see any approval message. Okay, so let's see what it does. So guys, by the time that it is doing that searchable, it's searching the web for that. So please do follow the journey of me reaching $1,000 MRR by creating Framer components, and if needed we'll create few more other things to reach the goal, right? And please do subscribe and like the video, that would mean a lot to me. It's taking a lot of time today, I'm not really sure. Let's see what happens. Okay, so I think that was my mistake. I didn't approve that, so it was waiting on my confirmation, right? So now cursor has given created a checklist for itself so that the component could be created, and this time it would be a little bit different than the previous two components, because previously I used the boilerplate that was created by the Framer AI, that is the workshop that they have built, that knows their context and is little bit better than that. So let's see if cursor can deliver or match that, right? So it's creating, let me start building the component. I still don't see any. I don't think it's waiting on my approval anymore. I'm not sure why. Right, so we do have some. Okay, the other one, okay. So yeah, so we might need to change or ask it to change some of the things, right? Because this, if as we know from Framer, our previous components, that this is not how that Framer add property control and control type is added, right? Okay, so we really don't need tsx config json and readme and pick package json and example tsx. We don't really need those things. So let me prompt it and give it a little bit of context, right? So look at this text truncate tsx file. It is another component that is created for Framer. Make sure this searchable dropdown component have the same formatting, because this file is according to Framer guidelines and rules. So make sure our design is our file for searchable dropdown is also up to the mark for according to this with the formats. Right. Right. Let's prompt more. We don't really need any other files like tsconfig, readme, package json and example tsx. So we can remove all those files. Just make sure that we are working on the searchable dropdown file only. Right. Okay, so got it. So let me just remove this. We are already referencing this. Get this. Okay, so let's see if cursor could accept it. We don't really need these files, right? Okay, so it's rewriting the file, right? So because like as we know, because we have built so I think these will be right. So this line that you see on top, this should be the actual Framer line instead of this mock Framer type for development, right? So we don't really need those. We are going to test this component directly in the Framer, so we don't really need any extra or custom testing needed for this, right? It's waiting on me. No, I don't think it's waiting now. Now it's much more according to our guidelines, right? Keep all. So let's create this component in Framer itself, right? So let's go to the assets and let's create a new code file, and this is going to be searchable dropdown and create it, and paste it, right? And let's see if it is actually working or not. So as you can see the preview here, it is able to give me some thing, but let's get this on our actual playground and let's see, let's test this. So first of all, let's check the options. So the options is in options where I have I can add multiple in here, right? I have a placeholder, so let's see if it works. Search or type, right? So it's working. Search. Okay, let's make it a little bit bigger. So we have search placeholder. Let's say, okay, I like this. So let's see. Selected value is open. No. So by default it's no. Maximum height. That this will be helpful when we have a large list of options added. Border radius, so let's check it out if this is actually working. So it's working. Background color, text color, border color, hover color, selected color, okay, font size, padding, show search, okay, allow multi or single select. Okay, this is something that we needed. Disabled or enabled, that's also working. Width, and so I don't really think this width is actually working here. So let's check the width on top, right? So let's make it, sorry, fill width, right? So it's filled up. We can do fixed. Let's make it 320. Okay, so now let's check it if it's able to open this, right? So I'm not able to click and open that drop down, right, and do any other thing. So now let's go back to Framer and sorry, my bad, go back to cursor and let's prompt it to make sure that it is making sure that we can open this one, right? The component is visible in Framer, but when I click on the drop down, I'm not able to open the drop down. So like the expand mode is not activated, and I also need to have a property to change the color of the placeholder text and remove the width and height in the properties, because that could be managed from actual Framer width and height. So we don't really need those width and height there, but do add placeholder text color property and fix the expanded mode activation. Right, so let's make this. So guys, like, to give a little bit of background about myself. So I am like, professionally I'm a UX designer, and I do have some, you can say, basic understandable knowledge of codes, right? So like, I can understand what is written and what that code is going to do, right? So that is something that I can understand, uh, right? But yeah, I'm not a developer, so I'm using vibe coding to get that work done that I need to do. So let's see. Placeholder color added, width and height removed. There was okay. So I think it has made some changes. So let's copy this and get to the component, right? Controls. Let's go back to our. So let's split this and see if still I'm not able to open this. So let's see if I make this by default open. Can I close this? Right, so the search is working properly, and selection is not working, right? I cannot select it. The search is working properly. I cannot close this, right? So let's go back to cursor and make sure we debug this properly now this time. So let me make this closed. Selected value, right? So the selected value is our default value that we could add or apply here, right? So let's go. The component is still not working properly. It's not expanding or collapsing, and I cannot even select anything from the drop down currently. Make sure to go deep into the issue and resolve this. Fix this issue and make sure that it is properly working. I can open and close the drop down, search in it and click on any of the options, and that selected option needs to be updated in on the drop down selected value, right? Let's get back to Framer, update our drop down, and get back to our testing. right? So now I can open and close, and I can, right, so I can click and that is being closed, but the selected value is still not appearing. So let's see if I change it to multiple allowed. So let's see what changed. What, nothing changed. Did it change or not? So let's remove the and play. Right. Font is working. So I need to make sure that these are paired correctly when we are finalizing the layout of these, so it's easier to differentiate between the colors, and like if it is a placeholder value or selected value or something like that. So let's that multiple allowed is not working, and the selection is also not working, right? Okay, so let's get back to cursor and prompt. Now I can open and close the drop down, but when I click on any option, it is not selected and shown in the on the drop down, while the option is single select, and the multi select is not even working. So fix that and make sure you go deep into the problem and see why this is happening. Right, so there are 9 changes made. Let's accept these, copy these, and go back to framer. Right, so I can multi-select now, but let me see if I did. Okay, multi-select allowed was on. Now if single select is working, right, so I think now it's working properly. I might have to see some of the things, right? So it's normal, and let's add few options, right? Label and value, ID. I don't really think we need a ID, right? So let me change the options. So let's add fruit names. So apple option is going to be apple, orange, and this is going to be kiwi, right? I don't really think this ID is required, but we'll go to the cursor and see if we need that ID or not, right? And let's add bananas or banana, right? So I have added these many. The only thing, okay, let's check this now. So we do have right, so we do have this height. Let me see if, okay, so I removed that height, sorry, that I should not have removed. I should, okay, we'll prompt to make sure that we add that. Let's go this way and arrange it. Right, so 3 items selected. It's working fine. Now I have just a little bit of if you guys can see, right, so I cannot bind this value, right? So I will have to manually add multiple options if I want to add, let's say 10-20 options here or more than that too. So that is a little bit of cumbersome work, so I might want to bind it with the CMS, right, so that I can update the options in CMS and it gets updated here. So so to do that, let's go to cursor and see. Now it's working properly, but I need to make few modifications. Make sure we give an option of height for the open drop down list, right? So we removed the height from the list view, so let's add that height back. And I also need a way to have the options as a bindable value so that I could bind it with other values, and also do a research that do we need an ID in the options, or label and value would do the work. Okay, so let's see what it does. So it has right, default value, property control, right, then that, right, okay. So ID is recommended for drop-down options to ensure unique identification and better performance. Bindable values in framework can be achieved through property controls. Height control for drop-down list is a good addition, right? accept that. Copy this, update our component, right, and preview. So this is working, so let's check this out. So okay, let me remove this. Height, drop down height, right? So we got 200 and 150, right? So let me just open it for. Okay, did we remove the open? I didn't prompt to remove that, did I? Okay, let's make this drop down height a little bit long so that we can see if this works, right? So this works, but there is some issue. Okay, and if I go max height, what happens then? Let's see, max height. Okay. Okay, so one more thing that I need to consider is, so when I select any value in here, right? So let's say I select apple, right? That selected value needs to be updated in this selected value, because okay, so let's say for now write test value, see if something changes. It's not changing anything, but it's changing the colors. Okay, so right, so to use it in a real case scenario, right? So we need to get that value and then transfer that value to any place that we want it to go. So that could be a Google Sheet or any other place that we would like it to update to, right? So this is one thing that I think we need to implement. Let me check the disabled also. So okay, so disabled is also working fine. Now let's go back to the cursor and okay. What is the purpose of a max height and a height for the drop down? Is there any difference, and if not, remove the one that is not being used. I need a way, so when the user selects any option, so to get that value from the drop down and be able to pass it to anywhere I want to pass it, or you can say forward that value to, be it a form or be it a CMS value or be it a any value, any place that I want that value to send, right? So make sure that when I select that value, the selected value needs to be fetched, and there needs to be a way to send it to some place. Right. See what changes made. Some values here and removed. Right. Keep it. Update it. Update the component. And go back and test it. So we got the height got removed from the max height, and let's see if that how we are sending that selected value. So click on this, click the orange, search option. I don't see anything that does that part, right? So let me check cursor, what cursor did. Right, so form send selected value to form field. Okay, right, improve documentation. Okay, in framework connect event handler, wire the on select change event on another single select event will return selector, multi select will return returns comma separated values, multi select example value forwarding forms and other component pass value to any other framework component, external system update global states or local variables. The component provides. I'm not really sure what cursor did. Okay, so there is one function that is added, but I'm not really sure it worked or not. Okay, I need to use cursor to explain me this. Explain me how the value forwarding is going to work inside Framer, because I don't see anything in Framer that will let me forward the selected value. So in the properties, this is your value. In Framer you need to do, right? Let's read this, make this a little bit bigger. So on select change, this is getting on selection change control event. On selection change, let's see where this is. On selection change, right? Okay, in Framer, what I need to do, right, in Framer interface, what you need to do when you use the component, you will see the on select change property in the component properties panel. Here is how to connect. Create a variable in Framer, create a variable example selected value, connected event in the component property panel, click on selection change, select variable, choose the selected variable, result every time a user selects. Okay, so it's asking me to create a variable, right? So to create a variable, right? These are styles, right? I'm not sure I can create a variable directly. Selected fetch. Seems to be an issue, right? Let's see, let's read this. So connect to other components. Okay, so let's try the other component thing. So let's create a text selected value, right? Right. Connect to variables, connect to other component, select a target component, choose another component that should receive the value, connect the event on selection change to the target component property result. Okay, connect to page logic, create an override that handles the selection, access the value, use this to update other component to send the API. Practical example, let me show you an example how this would work. Visual guide in Framer, select your searchable dropdown component, look at the properties panel, find on selection change property, on selection change. I am not really sure I'm able to find that property. On selection change, event. Okay, search placeholder. Okay, let me see. Placeholder, search placeholder, selected value. Right, so this property is not visible. That's why I'm not able to see this, right? Okay, then click the connection icon, usually a chain link, choose what you want to connect it to, variable or what you see in the Framer. I don't see this. This is the value forwarding connection option variable. This is the value forwarding process. Okay, I checked the Framer properties panel and I'm not able to see this on selection change property in the properties panel. Make sure it is visible on the Framer so that I can actually check if this is working or not. that's what I've been thinking, right? So sometimes you get hiccups, right? So you guys also know coding is something that's trial and error most of the time. You can't get each and everything in one go. Okay. The issue is that the on selection is property might not be shown up in framework properties. Well, let me check the current property control and fix the issue. Event handler 1, event handler 2. Now why we have 2, I need to check. Event handler primary string property already. The output value property is bindable string that will automatically update with the selected value. This is often easier to work with than event handlers. How to use each method. Event handler on selection change connect to variable or other component. On output change alternative event handler, same functionality. Output value recommended bind to variable, bind to connect. Okay. Testing the value forwarding. Open the browser console, select an option in the drop down. You should see single select value forwarded, option 1, bindable value, bind value, output value. Create a variable in framework. Example, connect output value property to variable. The variable automatic bind this approach handle. Okay, so let's see if this works. And first of all, if it is actually showing me all those controls, right? Right. So we have, we don't have that. Let me turn this into a component. So let me see if this will be able to we will be able to bind it or not. Event handler is still not working. So let's check if actually it's working or not first of all. So I have the code open. I need to go to console, right? So let me select Apple, check single select value forwarded Apple, right? So it is actually selecting the value, but now to bind this value, that is a problem. Today I'm a little bit stuck, guys. I need to think deep about the code implementation, as the event handlers are not visible on framework and I'm not able to bind output value, and also explain why there is a selected value property and what is the purpose of that selected value. Is this output value and selected value same? If so, keep only one, don't make any extra properties on the framework properties panel. Right, so I think oh shoot, I hit my limit on cursor today. You have it so guys, I need to stop this. We'll continue this, or maybe I'll debug this myself, and we'll upload the final output. We'll share the final output with you guys once Framer approves my components, right? So for now, please do like and subscribe to my channel, and let me know if you have any suggestions or any requests for me for next component for Framer that you wish you had but you don't have, right? So see you guys in the next video.